All right, well, Congress wants to give $250 checks to seniors. Meet two seniors here to say, checks? We don't need no stinking checks. Insecurity about Social Security. Three House Democrats want to give seniors an extra $250 check if a cost of living adjustment doesn't kick in. The House expected to take this up in September, right before the elections. My next guests say, keep the checks. Jim Foster, John Marotta, joining me right now. So both of you not fans of this $250 check that might be coming your way. So, John, to you first. If it does, what are you going to do with it?
I'm going to send mine back, Neil.
What are you going to tell them? What are you going to tell them to do with that money? Because it'll just go to someone else, right?
No, I want them to pay off the national debt.
All right.
At $250 times 40 million seniors, if my Hito press brain thinks about it, that's about $10 billion.
You know, Jim, it's interesting. A lot of folks on Social Security, given the low inflation rate, that probably won't see a cost of living adjustment this year. So to them, it sounds like a good deal. What about you?
Neil, do they really think that once we turn 65, we go senile? This is one of the lowest forms of vote buying one could imagine. It's just absurd to think that the U.S. Congress would be underscoring this kind of primitive vote buying.
Of course, this would not be the first time either party has done that kind of stuff. And the $250 check thing, in fact, that very thing has been done in the past. So, John, what's the message you think seniors should send Washington?
Tell them to keep the money, pay off the national debt, and just keep the money.
Jim, I'm going to no doubt get email from viewers and phone calls from viewers saying, well, Jim and John look like they're pretty well off. They look like they can afford to say no to a $250 check, but I can't. What say you?
Well, first of all, Neil, I'm going to send that $250 back because I know that this administration has promised the Wall Street bankers, brokers, and derivatives whiz kids that they wouldn't miss a bonus or a vacation day this year. They're going to need that money to keep those guys cashed up.
John, what about you?
Yeah, I certainly think the same way, Neil. The seniors here that I know don't want this money. They'd rather see the national debt reduced. We're really killing our children and our grandchildren with this debt, and I feel that we just don't need this money.
Do either of you feel, though, guys, that if it's this difficult to tell constituents that, look, you might not get a cost of living adjustment, so we're going to try to do something, maybe like a $250 check. Regardless, if it's this difficult to pass that kind of news along, then, man, oh, man, it's got to be really difficult to talk Social Security reform, right, to either raise retirement age or to scale back benefits, because the appetite just doesn't seem there. Or am I missing something?
Well, you know, do they really think that our generation is too stupid to understand that the mechanics of the system are completely out of control and broad, large-scale remedies are the only thing that matter now? This kind of a situation is an insult to senior Americans, but it's going to be a price paid by the next generation. You know, our generation knows that we cannot continue to let Congress and the administration, as it presently structured, continue to lie to us about the seriousness of the problem with a joke like a $250 election chip-in.
You know, I thought, well, I'd have you here, guys, if you don't mind my switching topics a little bit. I don't know if you were aware of two things going on in the last 24 hours, but this one the biggest. The scene in Atlanta today for government-assisted housing. And, you know, tens of thousands of folks showed up in Atlanta to get dibs on this, and it turned into a riot. What do you think of that, John?
It's the same old story, Neil. People with their hands out, they're hurting right now. There's no jobs. And when a government agency says to them, gee, we got an application for Section 8 housing, they're going to come out by the thousands. Now, if these jokers down, that run the government, even in Atlanta, think that they can make an announcement and say, hey, guys, we're going to hand out applications, and they don't think thousands aren't going to show up, They're crazy.
But Jim, I'm looking at that, and then I'm looking at this scene today outside Wall Street, where we had a lot of folks protesting, and when you listen closely, what they're protesting is for more jobless benefits, not jobs, jobless benefits. What do you think of that?
Well, they may be protesting for jobless benefits because this comes under the heading of, continuing promises made, promises unkept. If the country is going to basically get on a bandwagon where they're trying to con us into believing that 10% or more unemployment is a permanent way of life here, then I guess they're going to have jobless benefits. When those of us who've been around for a while know that this country only became successful when we had unemployment down in single digits, below 6 preferably. Yeah. That's the remedy, and that's what the government's ignoring.
Man, oh man. Well, a real honor having both of you here. We don't hear from you old guys enough, you know that?
We're not all that old.
Hey, Neil, yo.
He's older than I am.
Yo,
I know, and I'm very close to you. I'm very close to you. Guys, thank you both very much. Great hearing from you.
Thank you, Neil.
Thank you.